Cosmos builders are not only pioneers when it comes to proof of stake or interoperability or modularity, but also they're dominating entire categories, or in some cases even creating new categories, right? Such as Celestia for modularity or Babylon for Bitcoin staking. And in the case of AI, artificial intelligence, which is going to be probably the most important convergence with blockchain, crypto, and Web3, Cosmos is also at the epicenter of on-chain AI. And there are a couple of projects that are really to highlight here. And there's a lot more smaller projects that are also targeting different areas of AI. But to mention the biggest ones that were also covered here from the Cosmos Twitter account, Fetch.ai now that emerged into the Artificial Superintelligence Alliance that also initially merged with SingularityNet and Ocean Protocol and also now added Kudos and a couple others. So Fetch.ai really is the market leader when it comes to building this ecosystem of on-chain agents. And they've also launched the ASI1 Mini a couple of weeks ago, which is their first native LLM. Then, of course, AkashNet, which is the cloud compute platform that's been around for many years as well and has steady growth and on-chain revenue it generates. Then a new one that is also the convergence of privacy with the blind computer, Nillion Network, which, by the way, I also have an interview cooking that will be recorded in a couple of weeks with one of the founders of Nillion. So stay tuned for that. And generally speaking, I want to bring back more founder interviews because there's a lot of very, very exciting projects such as Lombard, such as Nillion, Story Protocol, Eclipse as well, and many more that I want to give you the alpha fresh off the from the source, right? And that is usually the founders. So founder interviews are coming back on Cryptocito, and Nillion Network is going to be one of the first ones. Then Orichain, that's also been around for a very long time, and also Allura Network, that is one of the newer chains that is in the works. Then, of course, there's also Secret Network. There's Sentinel, that's also more for privacy, and many more. So Cosmos really is the market leader for on-chain AI. And if you look at other verticals as well, whether that's DeFi, whether that's EVM, Bitcoin ecosystem, right? Many of these chains are built on the Cosmos SDK, Lombard, for example, which is my first point in today's video, is that if you want to look at Cosmos, you have to look at the entirety of the ecosystem, right? You can't just say, oh, I'm holding Atom, I stake that and forget, and now I'm exposed to Cosmos. Like, you have to really pick your verticals that you're mostly bullish on or mostly active in, and then you can pick 2 or 3 of these top ecosystem projects that are also built on Cosmos. And naturally, you'll probably find that a lot of these projects are built on the Cosmos SDK and they're not publicly bragging about it, which is also something that is potentially changing moving forward, because there are a lot of things cooking from the Interchain Labs team that is now fully backed by the Interchain Foundation after it got acquired and was renamed from Skip Protocol, but that's a different story. And you might say now, yo, I can also create these type of threads or overviews that are super helpful for also the broader non-Cosmos native community on X, on YouTube, on TikTok, whichever platform. Then you can get onboarded as a creator through Cito Earn. Cito Earn is basically a platform where you are incentivized to produce content. And the way this works is that we are running campaigns in coordination with teams. So a team can come here, list their campaign. There's a listing fee, and then we will define the duration of that campaign, the price pool, and also what we want to achieve. What is the target audience, right? And then you'll be able to go here. If you are a creator, browse campaigns. You can also see the past campaigns that we've done, but those are more like proof of concepts. I think now we're really getting more and more traction with that. So we are formalizing that more. Hence, we also doubled down on the website here, the landing page. We actually just selected the winners for the previous campaign, and the winner here won 250 USDC, the Hodl Wizard, who is an amazing content creator. And I think he can also now make a little bit of a side income through Cito Earn. We're trying to do once or even twice a month to do these campaigns. And the best content is just winning here. And Hodl Wizard and even Tony have been producing quality content consistently over the past couple of months. So they have been frequent winners here. So as long as this is still a little bit under the radar, I think the chances are extremely high that you're winning content, as long as you also have some sort of reach, some sort of originality in your content. And yeah, I think that's something for you to check out and at least be aware of. Now, one of the most criminally undervalued and overlooked or ignored or hated on ecosystems, in my view, is also Celestia. That obviously I understand also with the price action from $20 to now $2.50, $2.60. It's understandable that people are frustrated, they're down bad, while Bitcoin is doing all-time highs. Congratulations, by the way, Bitcoin, new all-time high, and also happy Bitcoin Pizza Day, by the way. But that's another seminar. Anyways, the Celestia Lotus upgrade is around the corner. That is set to go live as soon as this month, next month in June. So what that will bring is mostly those four Celestia improvements proposals. So number one, decreasing the inflation by 1/3. So the inflation is going to decrease by 33%. Second, to disable auto claim of staking rewards. The third point is something the community has been very vocal about, which is to incorporate staking rewards into vesting account schedules, which means basically that early investors' staking rewards are also going to be vested, so they cannot sell, they cannot dump. There has been this huge storyline about, I think, Polychain or Paradigm, one of them, that have been selling their TIA staking rewards that were actually higher than their original invest already like a couple of months ago. So that is changing. Obviously, it's coming super late. This is something that, is now coming after a year and a half that TIA is on mainnet. So I'm not sure how much effect that will still have. But anyways, they can now say that investor tokens are locked and their staking rewards as well. Also, Hyperlane is now fully integrated. Specifically, the Hyperlane Cosmos module is now integrated or will be integrated to Celestia, making TIA more interoperable and also building out this native rollup ecosystem that, is hopefully also driving more economic activity. And for now, the fee that is set on Celestia is extremely low. I think 100 times lower than on Solana. You can probably compare it to a freemium onboarding model where the fee is set consciously low to just attract applications, rollups, builders, and then the fees will gradually increase after that once there's a thriving ecosystem with real activity. At least that is seemingly the game plan here. But nonetheless, I think that Celestia has huge upside. It's one of the newer chains, only 1.5 years on mainnet, slightly less than that. So I think that they're going to do well once the alt season kicks in. And right now we are in Bitcoin season mainly, even though Ethereum is slightly catching up. But at some point, there will be a full-blown alt season. And I believe newer chains like TIA will catch bids. They're dominating entire categories. Even Babylon, the baby token, I think, that is brand new. Berachain that just launched also got a lot of fat in recent weeks. Nillion, we mentioned it earlier, Story, Initia, right? And some of the ones that are still upcoming, like Monad or Union. But anyways, that is Celestia. I think is going to do really well. Then we also have some news about StrideSwap that is going to launch in late July, potentially a little bit later. I wouldn't be surprised if they push it to August or even September. But right now, the Cosmos EVM is in audit. So once the audit comes back, then I think the first step will be to build up the momentum around deploying the Cosmos EVM on the Cosmos Hub to have permissionless Solidity smart contracts natively on the Cosmos Hub and add this application layer, which is a trend that we're seeing across the board. Noble will have the application layer. Torchain has it. Also, Sei, they have their own application layer. And Saga as well, right? Which we will talk about later as well. So building out a native application layer is very, very important. And the Cosmos Hub is also going to do that with StrideSwap being the flagship DEX. And I think there will be some interesting announcements here coming up in the kind of next few weeks. Like, I think June, July is going to be very interesting months for the Cosmos Hub. There was an announcement that kind of leaked. I think it involuntarily leaked. But I refrained from covering it, even though it probably would have gotten me a lot of engagement and clicks and views and everything. But out of respect also for the Interchain Labs team, I did not cover that. But we will sooner or later have these news publicly available. And I think the impact will also be a lot bigger. Anyways, I also think that StrideSwap is going to have a decent impact, not only for the Atom token, because there's also a revenue share. There's also different concepts and ideas how this can attract and generate revenue for the Cosmos Hub and also attract liquidity. But yeah, one of the things is that there will potentially be a fee attached to Eureka transfers, which is currently not the case. Currently, every Eureka transaction burns Atom, but that's just the transaction cost. There's no usage fee or service fee, basically, that the Cosmos Hub is charging right now. But it could come. And then also the fees from swaps. So swap fees, there will also be redistributed back to Atom holders, or at least generate some sort of value for the Cosmos Hub and Atom. You are familiar with this graphic here. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. So the Cosmos Super App, which is something that reminds me a lot of Emrys. I think I mentioned this once before, but Emrys was also this idea to build the Super App for Cosmos, the front end for Cosmos, basically, which is an unused weapon for now. And I think Emrys had a good shot, but unfortunately didn't get pushed over the finish line. There was also a huge restructuring happening back then at Tenement Inc., which is now renamed into All in Bits, and that is now mainly in charge of maintaining, building, and growing the Cosmos Hub fork called Atone. So Atom 1, that is basically Jay's fork, who is running All in Bits, the company. And now we have the Cosmos Hub that is maintained by Interchain Labs that is building this Cosmos Super App specifically around the Cosmos Hub to also make the Cosmos Hub a true interchain service provider and decentralized router. But yeah, that will be mainly focused on DeFi applications on the Cosmos Hub, but hopefully also for the entirety of the Cosmos ecosystem, because that would be a really cool to abstract the IBC magic entirely away so that the user does not even have to know that you're interacting with sovereign L1s, right? That's kind of the end goal, I guess. But yeah, let's see. Stride is aiming to go live in July, the Stride Swap or Stride DEX. And then also, we covered the news recently that Polaris is or Osmosis is integrating IBC Eureka as well, which could be seen as, you know, a front run to make sure that Stride doesn't take over market shares from Osmosis. But we'll see if they are friendly coexisting or if they are entering fierce competition. We shall see. Now, one of the chains that is barely spoken about, that is also a full-on Cosmos SDK blockchain that recently did a move, we reported about it, about basically sunsetting Cosmos smart contracts and solely focusing on EVM, which is a similar direction I believe that the Cosmos Hub itself is going, which potentially means that Cosmos is at least not maximizing its potential, maybe even dying out. I'm not sure about that, because we still have chains like Neutron or even Osmosis and many others that are betting on Cosmos smart contracts. And I'm not even sure at this point who is mainly responsible for maintaining Cosmos, but I think mainly Neutron, and then also I think Interchain is implementing Cosmos, so for their Applayer. But let's see. Anyways, I want to talk about Sei, because they have just released the Sei Giga paper, which is the EVM reimagined and would basically make it the by far fastest EVM chain, 50 times faster than Sei V2, and could achieve 200,000 transactions per second, which is crazy. So super fast, fully EVM compatible. And yeah, that is basically the Sei Giga whitepaper that is now available. Give it a read if you're interested. And yeah, I think Sei, they also have their own thriving ecosystem of DeFi apps. We talked about this a couple of months ago. Let me know if you want a deeper dive on that, the Sei ecosystem. But I think Sei is definitely one that is still very, very interesting. A Cosmos SDK blockchain, so they have never left Cosmos. They've only stopped support, or are going to stop support, for Cosmos and smart contracts. Then quick updates from Saga. As I mentioned earlier, they are currently fully focused on building out their native application layer, their native app layer, with the liquidity integration layer called Lil, that is focused on building out that full suite of DeFi applications. So they already have a DEX that just crossed, I think, $10 million of TVL. And now they're also building out other components of DeFi, like lending markets and those kind of things. Same, by the way, is going to come for the Cosmos Hub and Atom. And they also have AI agents and also games that are deployed on Saga. To be honest, there's not too much, at least from my kind of observations, that you can do in terms of games, especially. And I had a call yesterday also with Billy Rennicam, big shout out here, who is building also a gaming suite of products, and also eventually will come back to Cosmos. I'll put it like that. But Billy Rennicam, big shout out. He's been one of the OGs in Cosmos. And so it was great to catch up with him after a couple of years. And yeah, still very, very good vibes and very, very positive and good guy. But as for Saga, I think they're doing the right thing. They also implemented Beefy Finance now as their yield optimizer. And are just building out more and more puzzle pieces of their DeFi suite of products, and also are still building out the gaming and the AI ecosystems. So yeah, Saga definitely one that I would also not sleep on. And that fits also into the category of the kind of Nillions, even of the Celestias. That is a rather new chain that has never seen a bull run. And even though the price chart looks terrible, I think that especially those that compounded their airdrop, which I think there's another snapshot that was just taken, I think eventually they will eat well. At least that is my personal opinion, and you can be of different opinion, of course. I also understand if people are frustrated here. Same for Sei, right? Sei was at like $1, and I think now it's at like 25 cents. And yeah, Saga was at $6-7 when it launched, and now it's at 40 cents. So yeah, definitely understand the price action has been very, very brutal and shook a lot of people out. But I think that eventually that every bull run is similar in the sense that Bitcoin always front runs, makes an all-time highs until it reaches a point where people are like, man, these altcoins are never going to catch up. They're never going to catch a bit, except for a few coins here and there, like we're seeing now. Hyperliquid is doing very well. Sui is doing very well. Even Solana is doing quite well. But yeah, everything else seems to be down bad and in the trash can. But eventually, like I said, I think this will turn around and alts will catch bits. There will be an alt season, and then everybody will be super happy again. At least many people, not everybody, but many people at least. One of the candidates that also falls into that is also Berachain, that got a lot of FUD after yeah, their initial less than 4 months that are now in mainnet. They launched in early February here. Now we're in late May, so less than 4 months. Their TVL reached a peak of $3.5 billion in late March. That is now 2 months ago, and we are at 1.21 billion. So people are calling the end for Berachain, but I think that same here, right? Like this is just starting. Like let's see how this thing looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 years from now, before we take premature decisions here and conclusions. So I think Berachain is still way too new to kind of judge, and we'll see how they will do after one full cycle. There's also some decent yield opportunities right now. Some of them are also kind of incentivized and are not real APRs, and incentives and tokens that have thin liquidity that are basically shitcoins in some instances. So I'm just warning you here that those APRs are not always real APRs or sustainable APRs at least, but you've probably been around for at least one full cycle, so you understand also how this game works. Anyways, there are some interesting yield opportunities in Berachain. That is also, I think, one of the few DeFi applications besides, of course, Hyperliquid is absolutely killing it with a $700 million annualized revenue and like $2 million of daily buybacks for the Hype token, which is why it's doing so well as well. But Berachain as a DeFi platform or DeFi focused L1 is probably the better way to put it. I think it's also very, very interesting and will also have its time, its moment. Now, I also want to share quick updates from Mantra. So we still do not have a post-mortem, at least as far as I have seen. But they have now published a couple of news. So number one, they have partnered with Win Investments from Latin America. That is basically a platform to tokenize footballer contracts, youth player contracts. They also have some more well-known, I think McAllister and Amy Martinez, that are also tokenizing their contracts through Win token investment. I think in total they have a AUM of 7.5 million. I think I read that somewhere. And the total addressable market for that partnership is $66 billion for both. I mean, for Mantra and for Win, and maybe together they can capture some more of that market share. A bit of a random kind of partnership if you look at it at the first glance. But then if you look at it deeper, there's also ties between Win and Chelsea Football Club. And Mantra has this deal with Damak, which is a real estate group here in Dubai. And Damak is also a sponsor of Chelsea Football Club. And they have just unveiled a new crazy building here in Dubai. I actually saw it walking through the marina the other day. There was this huge billboard with a picture of how that building will look like. Reminds me a little bit of the new Atlantis, the Royal. But if you connect the dots, there might be a way where Mantra actually is tokenizing that building, that kind of piece of real estate, but this is not officially confirmed. So maybe not. In any case, I think for Mantra, it would be very, very important to come out with that Damak deal very, very soon, what that exactly entails. And hopefully, they can still pull something off here, because this used to be the number one hottest real estate tokenization project and RWA play in all of crypto. Mainnet Cosmos launched their mainnet last year at the last day of Cosmos Dubai. But of course, also with Mantra specifically, I understand if people are just very, very fed up and do not trust JP or the Mantra team anymore. What I'll do here, I'll just keep reporting news as more things come out. I'll just keep reporting on the news as things become public. I have not spoken to JP in a while, but we did have calls with other team members from Mantra, and we'll see. They seem to be really now back to builders mode and really want to restore some of the faith and trust. And one of the interesting things that I found was that the token suddenly got listed on Crypto.com and also Upbit in Korea, which I've been saying for a long time. Upbit listings are the new Binance listings, because whenever the token lists on Upbit, it just immediately pumps. So we saw this 20% pump that now came down again. But Upbit Korea and Crypto.com have both listed the token, and also JP has shared a bit of a recap. They have now 120 million roughly in RWAs on mainnet. Was integrated on Binance, the mainnet, and also listings on Upbit and Crypto.com. To wrap up the video, we're proud to be partners and sponsors of East Belgrade, and I'll be also in Belgrade in Serbia in less than 2 weeks. So in a week and a half, we'll be at East Belgrade. We have had contact with the organizers for quite some time now. Very, very good guys. Big shout out to Petar and Tanya. They are probably very, very busy right now, but Cosmos, we are going to be representing the Cosmos ecosystem at East Belgrade, and also at all their side events. There's a Curve event, so June 3rd to 5th at a conference in the Saga Congress Center, and the week thereafter we're going to be in Split to finalize some of the on-ground preparations that need to be made for Cosmos, which is happening later this year in late October in Split, Croatia. So we're going full Balkan mode, have some nice chivape there, and If you're around Belgrade or split in that time, please let me know. Would love to catch up. The whole customers team is going to be there. Anyways, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you soon at Cryptocito. Until then, stay safe and be good.